Hey guys, welcome back for another episode of the GhettoRig podcast, episode 168 for you. Another one in the books. Let's first get to through introductions. God damn, that
Tongue
can't
twister
speak.
there.
Yeah. For those who don't know, my name is Eddie. To my left, we have my co-host Jay, and then you got Miggy behind the cameras. He's focusing on doing all that stuff. It's pretty cool. We got some stuff coming in on Thursday. It's gonna make Miggy's job easier.
Yeah.
You know, we're officially getting some new
Hopefully.
upgrades. He said, hopefully it doesn't just add more complication, huh, Mickey?
It's just more pressing buttons, but
Yeah, they're more pressing buttons, but now you don't gotta move that shit back and forth all day.
that's true.
It's gonna be a nice change, though.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice.
I think it's gonna
It's
be
gonna
better
be,
for the viewers too.
I feel like it's gonna be a little bit more interactive for people too, because I'm gonna be able to be more constant, like being able to switch between conversations.
Yeah, you know, you'll be able to at the click of a button switch from my face to his face, which is gonna be nice versus having to like move the camera
Instead of
and
being
switch.
kind of just spread out all over the place here,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like playing a piano.
Plus,
Yeah.
anytime we have guests, when we're talking to them, they'll turn and look at you, right? So, and I don't know if you know it.
Having
lot of times,
those personal angles spread more will help.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you guys think it's a bit distracting sometimes when I'm moving
no, it's
the
not.
shit back here?
No.
It's not distracting, but
No.
I think what happens a lot of time when you focus on a guest and they're talking like this, and you just have the guest and they're not really looking at a camera. This way, at least, because with us, we at least try to look back into the camera as much as we
A
can.
little bit at least.
Yeah, a little bit at least, but the
I'm
guests
not
don't
very
have
good at
that,
it.
right? So if they don't have that, that means they will just like, if we get that angle when they're talking to someone, one of us, and you'll be able to see. So
I found that when I'm talking to you guys, or if I'm looking at you guys in the eyes, you guys are gonna be looking more towards the camera as well.
yes,
Yeah.
But if I start doing like ducking away and looking away, you guys just start either dozing off or just trying to lock into each other's
Yeah.
eye.
Before we get started today, guys, let's make sure we don't forget to mention our official sponsors, the UFC Gym Largo and Pinellas Park. Go check those things out, guys. Largo is real close to opening. We're less than a month out from opening up Largo location. The 21st is the set date for our soft opening. The 28th is our grand opening. Go check that out, guys. Don't miss the grand opening. We have some cool fighters coming out. I'm not going to spoil the exact list, the whole thing right away. Just come check it out and you'll see we got some great fighters coming out. And also don't forget to check out Vitality Recovery and Wellness Center. Those guys do an amazing job of what they do. They've got about 15 to 16 different modalities spread across the different locations. And they've got some awesome stuff there, guys. Just go check that out. If you got any injuries, you're feeling sick, anything going on with your body, or you just want to have a little bit more energy, if you want to feel better, whatever it may be, go check them out, guys. They'll get you right. What do we got today, guys? What are we jumping into first?
I wanted to mention something, but it kind of flew out. Anyway, I'll think of
You
it.
think of it
You
again?
think,
later?
Yeah, I'll
you
think
think
of
it's
it
gonna
again.
land again anytime soon?
Yeah, it's gonna
So,
land,
Mickey, you ready to
hopefully.
give me a crash course on cameras when I finally get that thing in?
Dude, teaching people about cameras is not that difficult.
Really? I feel like it's gonna be difficult. I mean, I'm pretty like good learner, and I pick up shit quick. I'm not stupid, so
I'm trying to think of like a way of comparing what it's like to teach cameras, but I can't.
I think once you familiarize yourself with the menu of the camera, that's it. So you kind of know quickly how to access things that you need,
Yeah.
and then set it up, because majority of the filters are gonna have it on a computer anyway.
and I realized this about the A7 III. It's like you were saying with a lot of the higher end professional cameras compared to like your guys's. It has a lot more different knobs and scrolls to like adjust things on the fly versus having to like do things through either like designating it through a macro of like changing this scroll to something else, being able to set things up on the fly really quickly through
I
the
have a
different
question.
options.
Yeah, because like you're saying, you have those menus that you can program, those little extra buttons.
Yeah,
But on the better cameras, everything's already kind of tuned to that.
exactly. You don't have to be programming anything because everything you need to adjust is already right there, ready for it to be done, kind of thing.
So I think you answered my question, but is there a way, let's say you're setting out for the studio, for the podcast, you have a certain setting that you like your cameras to be in. Is there a way to program that setting where with a push of a button you get that setting immediately?
Yeah, there's different profiles.
Yeah, the
So
profile.
we were talking about that the other
So-
day. Mickey was telling me about that.
On the entry level Sony cameras, you're not gonna have that. On the A7 series, once you start getting into their nicer ones, you're gonna have memory recall 1 and memory recall 2
Okay.
directly on the dial.
That's
and you can
perfect.
set that to specific settings.
So once you
a lot
set
of
it
the
for
time,
the pod, and then if you need to take it away, you can just do that. And
Well, it all depends, right? Because when you're taking it away, you're gonna go use it in a bunch of different scenarios. So who knows what scenario that
That's
might
what I'm
be,
saying.
right? So you're gonna have to adjust it anyways. But in the sense where when you bring
Bring
it
it back. You
back,
push a
right,
button.
you just put it back to that memory recall and it's set for the pod. That's actually a really cool thing we're gonna be able to do with that camera when when Emily uses it for work, or if you got to use it, whatever.
She's gonna end up just pretty much dialing it down to what we have it at work, which is memory recall 1 is gonna be your standard recording setting,
Right.
and then you're going to have your S&Q, which is not even gonna go on your memory recall 2. Your memory recall 2 you could probably set up to like a nighttime setting.
Mhm.
Okay.
But
Easily.
S&Q is going to be. It could actually be set as your secondary.
You know what? Actually, I had this idea. One day we should take all these cameras with tripods and shit to an area where you don't have like um light pollution and try to fucking set open aperture and like just fucking try to take a picture of the sky. What it's gonna look like. You know what I mean? That'll look badass.
You're talking about like just going into like the middle of the ocean and just snapping a picture of the sky?
not necessarily middle of ocean. Let's say even if it's like
Middle of a field somewhere. just-
somewhere in the field, like
somewhere where there's not
Fort
a lot of light.
DeSoto. We're in Fort DeSoto. It's nighttime.
Yeah.
And you just
That makes sense.
set the camera to the sky and just like snap a picture of the sky with an open aperture.
I
Just
wonder
to-
how many
so-
stars it would pick up and stuff like that. If you would have to get a really clear night, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
I've never done astrophotography before. It's a little bit more complicated. Your shutter speeds have to be longer,
Yeah,
which
Right.
is why you require a camera, because if not, you're going to be shaking and it's going to
That-
make everything blurry.
That's what I'm saying. Once
You
we
mean a
set up the
tripod?
tripod,
Like it has to be set up on a
It
tripod.
has to be steady.
yeah, and then we're gonna probably have to weigh those tripods down because they have those little hooks for like sandbags. You just hook a sandbag, so even if
I
it's
may
windy, it
be
doesn't
I may be
move.
wrong, but I think you even require a shutter remote, so that instead of having to click the button so that the camera doesn't shake,
Yeah,
Oh
you-
yeah,
yeah.
that
So
makes
it's not
sense.
wobbling.
yeah,
Yeah,
you just
that makes
shoot
sense.
with the shutter.
Yeah,
I think the A7 you can do that, like, cause it connects.
You
to
can set a
Wi-Fi and
timer.
NFC and all that stuff.
You
or
could
set
set a timer.
timer.
Yeah, that would work because you click it and then it goes off in 3 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that would work too. I can't wait to get it and like try it out, and because for me that's the one part of this whole podcast that I haven't learned yet, right? Is cameras. Like in reality, even Jay knows more about cameras than I do.
No, I
Right.
mean, I know a little bit because I just dabbled. Because when I got my first digital camera, and there was only one dude. Apparently, this dude was like, he got this camera. He's like, I want to learn everything about this camera, and he put an ebook together. So I bought his ebook, and it was
Okay.
like a couple of dollars, and it was like 250 pages just talking about a basic Sony DSLR camera, right? And once I got that book, man, like I started reading the things, like holy shit, like these cameras can do a lot.
Yeah.
And the funny part is you read all this and you got all this, like, man, I know what I'm doing. And then you go out and start shooting and
Yeah.
you're like, this looks like shit. What am I doing wrong?
I
Then
think
back to
the hardest
drawing
part
board
of
again.
photography is not actually like knowing what the stuff is, like what aperture means, what ISO means. Like it's good. It's really good to know what it means, but you need to learn how to expose the picture right, and that's difficult to do, especially if
Let's
you're
talk about
if
this.
you're on a constant.
Can you go on my
shoot.
Insta? Can you go on my Insta?
Give me 1 second.
Bro, have you tried peppermint?
No,
Fire.
it's good. Yeah.
Fire. When you want to toss one in, toss.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't like minty shit. I
Yeah,
don't.
Yeah.
But shout out to my boy
That very
Spencer
first
at work.
picture. Click on that very first picture. What do you think? I tried editing it with editing apps, and I ended up clicking auto.
Now
auto
art
edit.
art is subjective to the artist. I
Yeah.
can give you what my critiques are and what my editing
please
style
do.
would be.
So please
So-
do like on the angles and things like that. Just
I'm not a fan of the dark edges.
It's very contrasted. That's what it is.
okay.
It's very contrasted, and your highlights are way too low, to the point where there's way too much there's right there. There's supposed to be lighting
yeah.
in this section, and there
Yeah.
is none. The highlights were taken down too low, and the contrasts were so you increased it so much that it created that outer work.
Well, no, I did
That's
that
also a
vignette. I
vignette.
did a vignette. Yeah.
But there's also contrast, like you can see
Yeah.
right here. Like that's too much contrast. That's all. It's just oversaturated for what a natural picture would look like.
Yeah. Plus, this was a very bright day, right? So I had a critique where the angle wasn't right, and my head is like, oh, you're not tall enough for that kind of picture type of deal. I got a
Oh, yeah.
critique, and I'm like, bro, shut the fuck
Well,
up.
you could also. It just depends on the angle that you take the picture. You can make yourself look even bigger if you take it from
Lower.
from a
lower in angle. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they kind of just shot it from a mid angle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like photos, man. Every time they bring photos, I'm like, fuck it.
You know
I'll
what?
do
One of
them. I
my
like 'em.
favorite photos is that one that you caught of me like naturally just like laughing my ass off. That one was really good.
Oh, this one.
That one
Oh
like
yeah, no, I
laughing
mean,
my ass
go,
off.
Mickey, just go
Yeah.
to GhettoRig Pod and show all the pictures from that day that you took. I love those pictures.
Yeah, those pictures are
I made one of.
badass.
I mean, shit, one of them is my profile picture now because I
Yeah.
just loved it so much. Because he got multiple.
Even that picture of you, like, yeah, genuinely you're interested in a conversation, and you like
Yeah.
just like that picture right there. You're just like genuinely interested in a conversation. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like he caught it like mid.
Look at
mid,
McGregor's
yeah.
face. That shit's hilarious to me. It looks like he has that filter on.
Yeah, I really like these pictures.
And then the
They're
other ones that you
badass.
took a little bit, like a last. I think it was even last year.
The ones
That
that I
you-
actually took with the camera. There's
let's
some
see.
that I took with the camera.
I think if anything, we need to redo our picture. You know, for the YouTube
Oh, yeah, for
logo.
To the right, to the up and to the right. That one.
Yeah, these are kind of cool.
Yeah,
I think it was this day. Yeah.
I like that chair setup though. You know that? I like that individual chair setup.
Mm-hmm. Feels a little more personal.
Mm.
Like everybody has. Their
I
own
like how they
space.
can. I like how we were able to angle it,
Yeah,
like in a little circle almost.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what I like about that. But
Yeah.
yeah, the pictures you got on some of these shoots, man. This one,
Yeah.
I love this picture.
Badass picture. Yeah.
It's cool. I mean, we just need another camera so that I can actually take pictures while we're having guests. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool as shit. Yeah, I think it's gonna, slowly we're
Well, I
gonna
mean,
build it all up.
At this point, we have 3. Very soon, once you pull the trigger,
What's
we're
up,
gonna have fucking
Ozzy? What's
4
up,
cameras.
Peruano?
We should have plenty.
So we'll pretty soon, guys. It's not gonna be. I think we're gonna have to find a new name. Like, there's too much money invested at this point to be calling us GhettoRig.
Yeah, we're gonna have to like change the name. Yeah, because we're not ghetto anymore. We become a little more professional. You know?
Our beginnings are ghetto.
Yeah.
Our beginnings were ghetto. Like, go look at that episode. The first day we were in here. The first day we were in
God,
here.
the first 5 episodes.
Well,
we
yeah, I
are
mean that's
not
something
even
else.
there. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
That's something else. The first episodes that we did, were something else.
I had a critique. I don't know how we're gonna.
I just looked right into the camera.
I have a critique. I don't know how we're gonna tackle this, but like instead of putting those cookie cutter thumbnails, like do something different for the thumbnail. each
Yeah,
time.
I think that's something we should start doing. Is not necessarily it has to be. It doesn't have to necessarily be a different theme thumbnail.
Yeah.
But it should be different formatted. If you know.
Are you
what I mean.
talking about our regular thumbnails that we
Yeah,
use right
regular thumbnails. So like talking
The
about
issue
like
with that is that you don't know what
what
you're
we're talking about. Yeah.
You
Until
don't know
after.
exactly.
Do you think, guys? Do you think?
Well,
The
we
only
can,
way that you could do something that
is
you could create
do it
custom
after.
thumbnails is either doing it after or having a photo shoot before.
I mean, some people do that too. They do it after sometimes.
yeah, we can do it after. Let's say if we talk about like something crazy, like holy shit, did you know XYZ in a picture? You know what I mean? And
I
then
really like that thumbnail you created for cord and stuff. That was good.
Mhm.
yeah,
Trying to get better at those.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's some changes coming, guys. In a pipeline. We're trying to upgrade this. Eddie's Chino, he said.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he said. But there's some changes coming in a pipeline, so you're gonna see a bunch of those.
Shout
Well,
out Ozzy.
Today we have a packed. I don't really want to talk about politics. I think the more we talk about politics, the more people get alienated from each other. And whatever happens, I guess at the end of the day, right? None of them bought us a sandwich, so this episode is gonna be a little bit different. It's gonna follow more of the episode that we had before, the last one, right? So
What you got for us? I'm sure you posted some stuff.
yeah, I posted a bunch of stuff, interesting stuff, and it's all like smart people talking, right? And it's not controversial. It's just fucking interesting, So yeah, pick one and we'll go into it. And I want your reactions, guys.
That we're the only civilization in the Milky Way galaxy at the moment. Right? It's worth considering that might be the case. And there are reasons we can go into about why that may be the case, but it's possible. So if it's true, imagine it's true, I think that if we're talking about the meaning of it all, what does it mean to be a human in this universe? Well, meaning is a property of intelligence, I think. So clearly the universe means something to us. So meaning exists here. But if there's no other intelligence out there in our galaxy and we destroy ourselves, then we might eliminate meaning in a galaxy of 400 billion stars forever. That's what we might do. So consider that, world leaders. You have potentially a galactic size responsibility to maintain meaning in a galaxy. It's possible that we're the
So, what do you think about this? What he said?
You know, I think it's an interesting standpoint. It sounds like it's a lot of, the only issue I see with that is just a lot of like what this means to me,
Mhm.
kind of like definition of stuff, which I don't have an issue with, and not necessarily saying I disagree with what he's saying, right? But that's talking about what meaning means to you and
Yeah.
all this stuff.
So I think before we
it's
tackle,
it's a very subjective thing. I think it's one of those that's like supposed to be heartfelt and kind of like hit home, one of those
Yeah.
videos, but to me it really it doesn't. It sounds too
Lala,
yeah.
to Lala.
Yeah.
What about you, Miggy?
I think it's fucking insane that some people don't believe that they're aliens.
That's my biggest thing too.
So
Is
so let me give you
you you asked about the video specifically and what he was saying, but instantly he talks about this and meaning, and at the end of the day, I don't believe that we're the only creatures, like the only habitants in this entire universe. You know what I mean? I think that would be naive to believe that when you have a universe as fucking vast as we have.
In a way, it's scary to me because again, they don't think like me, they're not like me, they don't look like me. Who knows what the fuck they look
Well,
like?
it's definitely scary, and the scariest part to me is the moment we know they're out there. It's because either we're stronger than them or they're stronger than us. Because they would have to we would have to travel so far, or they would have to travel so far that their technology would just be like, you know what I mean?
insane,
Like
yeah.
the moment one of us figure each other out, it's because one of us is so astronomically smarter than the other.
I think they're still like
That's scary.
they're still trying to look for water in Mars, and I think they may have recently just
Well,
found some.
I thought they had found theories that Mars was at one point it was covered in a bunch of oceans.
So like to tackle this, you gotta like kind of go. Patrick Bet David just had a podcast, and he brought this astrophysicist, and there's only 11,000 astrophysicists in the entire world, right? So he brought him over, and he was talking about the universe and the planet and whatever. But the way he was talking about the universe, when you take we have snapshots of the entire universe now, right? Whatever we think is the entire universe. But we don't know whether it's round or is it flat. So far, it's kind of flat. So if it's flat, there's an end to it, right? But we don't know
Well,
if there's an end.
didn't they recently discover that the universe is infinitely expanding?
Yes.
Well, they discovered that it's infinitely expanding, but they don't know if it's expanding in a shape
what
of a
direction?
bubble,
Okay.
what direction, if there's an end, it just kind of continues.
Different level.
I mean, you would
thought as
imagine it would be
well.
a sphere, right?
We
Yeah.
already don't even know what
But
the
we don't know.
fuck just what space is like. Imagine just the galaxy, the fucking universe.
This
Yeah,
is
sphere, but
this is what
roundish
I
shape,
equated to.
you would
Like
assume.
you know how those fucking people that don't believe the planet is round, they say, well, if you look at the water looks flat. So as far as you can see, the water looks flat, right? But it's such a tiny part of the entire planet that it looks flat. Maybe that little snapshot of the universe we're taking is
And
that
guess-
little tiny
and,
part.
And guess what? Guess what? It looks flat, but if you look out into the ocean, there's a reason that at a point there's what's called a horizon.
Yeah.
Because it curves.
Yeah, it curves. But you don't see that curve. To you, it looks
Yeah.
flat, right? But
Yeah.
if our camera's only taken, if our telescope's only taken that up to that horizon of the universe, you don't really know. It kind of like follows or no.
These are the things that we are completely unable to comprehend because the universe, it doesn't have to be a bubble. It doesn't have to be flat. It doesn't have to be a triangle. It could be a completely different form,
Yeah.
which we haven't even discovered.
Yeah. And then another thing is, you have to look at it this way. Why there's life on a planet Earth, right? So when the planet Earth is in billions and billions of years finally gonna disappear, not disappear, the sun is basically gonna eat it up, right?
Right.
We won't be here anymore. Why we won't be here anymore is because the carbon dioxide actually,
Yeah,
not the
before,
oxygen.
yeah, long
the
before that, yeah, we would be.
Carbon dioxide, we're gonna actually lose carbon dioxide. Back in the day, we had more carbon dioxide in the air, and then the planet actually, my understanding is it's flowing further and further away from the sun, little by little, very tiny, and the more, or is it getting closer? I don't know, one of the other one. Anyway, so as the planet gets heated, right, the oceans not rise, but they evaporate, creates rain, and as rain comes down, it traps the carbon dioxide molecules in it and brings it down to Earth.
Okay.
So it eliminates carbon dioxide naturally, right?
Well, so do all the trees and plants and.
Yeah. So they were
ocean.
saying that eventually, they're saying that eventually we're not going to have enough carbon dioxide on planet Earth. But we, even before we get that, people are going to be long gone, right?
So it wasn't recently that they did find water on Mars. Yeah. So wasn't it recently that they found out that the majority of our oxygen actually doesn't come from trees? It comes from the ocean.
Plankton.
Yep.
Yeah, plankton.
Yeah.
Plankton is what creates that. That's why there is
It's
this.
like when I grew up in middle school and elementary school, when you're learning like basic biology and stuff like that, and science or whatever, we learned that it was the trees.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is something that we're discovering now
Yeah.
almost, which is kind of crazy.
Well,
to
they just made these new chandeliers. They fill it up with phytoplankton. It's like, looks like a leaf. They fill it
Scientists
up with
believe
phytoplankton.
that 50% of the oxygen comes from.
The ocean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they fill up these. The chandelier has these gigantic leaf looking like, I don't know, like containers that they fill it up with phytoplankton, and phytoplankton takes the carbon dioxide and creates oxygen. And these are chandeliers you can hang it up in your room, right, and just produce fresh oxygen on a daily basis, right? But another thing the guy was talking about is like, our planet is like, the reason we have this moon. There's a theory that there was a asteroid that grazed the planet, and that's what created the fucking moon, right? And the moon got stuck in our orbit because of the gravitational pull, and we're far enough from the sun where it's not too hot, but we're close enough when it's perfect temperature. And then you have this moon that just kind of circles around, that like knocks all the asteroids off. You know what I mean? That are going to the land, right? Like, it literally like attracts the asteroid and takes the asteroid hit versus the planet taking the hit. So we're like a perfect planet, and they haven't really discovered anything similar to us.
You know, I was listening to I saw this clip of you know that show, what's that show? The Big Bang Theory, right? The show with the two nerds that live together and all that shit. You know, they came out with a prequel of that show called Sheldon, of the main character when he was a little kid and stuff. I saw a clip the other day, and he was talking to his mom. I guess it was a conversation with his mom, like his mom wasn't believing in God anymore, kind of thing. And he started telling his mom, like, well, did you know that if gravity were even slightly a bit stronger or slightly less strong, the Earth wouldn't exist?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Like, if the calculation wasn't exact 1% to this and that, and he started like listing a bunch of things, like if it weren't exactly to this T, to the point exactly where
we
it is,
wouldn't be here.
We wouldn't be here. If it was off by this minute value.
So if that's the case, right? If that's the case, we are the way we are, right? So that means if there's other intelligent beings somewhere out there, and they don't have the same conditions as our planet, but they're somehow we're able to be there, they're gonna look nothing like us. They're gonna think nothing like us.
Different.
Everything is gonna be completely different. I don't know if it's gonna be carbon based. Number one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Literally everything could be different.
Everything could become
everything.
Yeah, so I don't think we've smart enough. We don't even know about us enough to let alone find out about them.
My only arguments of the whole thing of like, it's just such a small chance of this happening, this and that. Well, clearly, it's such a small chance. We've only found one planet out of the how many other planets that we've discovered in the Milky Way.
Yeah.
Right? That have life. Yeah, we were that one fucking probability.
Yeah.
Out of the millions.
Yeah.
And millions of other planets.
And you know what I was thinking?
We were that one probability. There was a chance for it to happen, and out of the million times it happened, yeah, it did. It got it once. You know.
And what I was thinking is like, we've talked about the lysine. You know how the lysine cannot just like fuse by itself in the water, even though there's like that without a catalyst and whatnot. But I didn't care enough to deep dive into this, but. So the more and more I'm getting, like, I don't know if it's getting the algorithm or whatever pushing, but more and more I'm getting sound, where sound influences things. Like right now they found a way of using sound to kill cancer on your liver. They just got FDA approval.
Okay.
The sound using to kill cancer, right? So if it can destroy, that means it can also create. So the idea here is, could the sound have been that catalyst that made the fucking lysine? Because of that big bang, because of the loud noise, did that noise somehow, the frequency was right enough to fuse the lysine and create that first RNA?
Right.
You know what I mean? And then there's this illustration of there's this big circle and there's one dot that just floats very slowly. And the minute it hits the wall, another dot appears. The minute it hits the wall, another dot appears. It's very slow, but then a couple of seconds into it, the dots go nuts, just mayhem. And then at one point, it just becomes like full of dots. You know what I
where
mean?
it
Like
doesn't even look like anything's moving. It's
yeah,
just
it's just
solid.
like clump, right? So could that be happen with RNA when first one RNA, then it split into another one and another one, and then finally this whole thing became, and then through evolution, it just fused, became a DNA. DNA started crawling out of the water, and now you have who you have. And the guy was also talking about that it could be that we'll die off, and the next civilization, like years and years down the road, is gonna come around and they're gonna like, holy shit, we just unearthed this. Like we're unearthing a bunch of shit that we didn't know existed, right? Like there are people that are talking about giants that existed before. They have bones and shit.
Yeah, we've talked about this
You know
a
what I
bunch
mean?
in the pod here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's conditions similar to Earth. Yeah, but I don't know. But the point here is that they're saying if you send a, it's one of the planets in our system. If you send a telescope there, right? That because of the gravitational pull and because of the shine, it's got enough light for you to see further out. And they're actually planning to release that. And it's gonna be like a $250 billion project.
You know, my question
to make that new telescope.
My
They
question
can
to
actually
this,
take pictures of different planets, whether they have like clear pictures, whether they have water and not. And on top of that, they're gonna include infrared, where you can actually take whether there's heat or cold. You know,
So, you know, hearing scientists have found 55 Earth-like planets out of 4,000 found to have conditions similar to Earth, right? My question is now how many total planets have scientists ever discovered? Like, what's the total amount of planets
A
that
lot.
we understand that there are in the system in the universe?
bro,
What's that
there's
number
so
they
many
get?
Milky Ways. Like we have the Milky Way, it's our galaxy, right? There's so many of these galaxies around. It's fucking ridiculous. Our galaxy is like a little tiny speck.
No, not in solar system. How many planets?
Not in our galaxy, like in our universe. So
800
billion to 8
billion
trillion,
8 trillion
planets.
So,
That's just in our fucking galaxy,
and
right?
40 or 55, sorry, 55 have Earth-like conditions.
Within our galaxy or outside of our galaxy?
In general, I think is what you're saying.
In general. So like, you know,
That's
like,
the probability.
yeah, and
You know what I mean? So when people say, oh, it had to be this exact calculation, this and that. Well, yeah, because it happened after so many 45
Yeah.
million trillion times.
so now,
But yeah, a couple of them did get that.
so now if we're
that
talking
outcome,
about,
you know,
so now if we're talking about the Matrix, right? Like, well, if this is all simulation, a question I have. So the simulation is like, oh man, these motherfuckers are getting too smart. So let me create more simulation, meaning like, let me create more stuff for them to see. Oh, this is a new discovery. Because the simulation has to
100%.
create. It's not
Entertain.
written,
You gotta
right?
keep 'em
Like it just
entertained.
yeah, you
to
know what I
not
mean?
actually go
Like,
after the real
they're
question.
just adding episodes.
Yeah.
Which fucking season are we on? You know what I
But they're
mean? Like,
never gonna do the final mission. Kind
yeah,
of thing, you
yeah.
know? Yeah, 100%. But my thing is too is when you think like, oh, what if we're in a simulation? And even if we were in a simulation, then what is the world beyond that? What is the actual real world then? And where did that come from? Like, there's still questions
Yeah.
to be begged.
And
The
it's
same questions to be begged.
Movies
good-
make it so simple. Movies are like, yeah, you know, the world's ending. We just got to figure this out and this out and this out. And it's like, bro, who the fuck knows those things?
yeah, it's like, you know, there's this theory. There was this Russian scientist back in the day. He wrote this theory of like how like the lower level creatures don't understand the creatures above them, right? For example, like grass just kind of grows. Goat comes in and eats it. Grass doesn't know what the fuck's going on. Goat just eats the damn grass, right? And then goat's just eating his grass. The owner of the goat comes in and, you know, now you eat the goat. Goat didn't know what the fuck was going on. You know what I mean? So there's that hierarchy of you not knowing. So it can't be that we're the last ones. There's got to be something above us that we don't even know exists. We're just living our life, and something out there exists that's like, you know, like
I think that's called the government.
what's above the government? You know what I mean? You know, what's above the government? Above the Rothschilds? You know, what's above them? You know?
I have a question for you guys. Do you guys think it's worth it to take care of the cows and treat them nicely so that at the end, like, you feel good about yourself to the point where the meat tastes better?
What do you mean? Like, well, people have gone
Because
to
people
extreme
people
lengths.
have done that. Like, people have gone out their way to buy their own like cattle, treat it very like nicely, massage it, give it the best food, just to eat it at the end
Well,
of the
you're
day.
talking about the Wagyu cows of the very famous
not-
No, he's
Japanese
saying
Wagyu.
people
Just
doing this
in general.
personally, like
Just in general, nothing regarding which specific.
I think
type
it's.
of
I
cow or
think. I
anything.
think it's gonna be tough. You're gonna have to. You're gonna have a certain mentality to to kill the cow that you raised from a baby, make sure he was sick, you got the doctor, took care of it. Like, it's gonna be very difficult. You have to be pretty callous to it,
See, the
right?
thing is now you're treating it like a pet.
Now you're treating it like a pet.
And
Yeah.
this is the thing. This is a pet that from the get you've planned to eat, right?
Yeah.
Right?
It's kind of
Pets.
fucked up just already.
Pets piss you off all the time. The first time that motherfucker tries you, you're gonna gut him.
First time he tries you pull out the
You
knife
gotta
from
gut
the
him.
back and you show it to him like, you see this? Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, because Arabs have gone to the long lengths, if you know what's halal meat, right? So the halal meat is basically, it's a specific way of butchering an animal
Yeah.
where they drain all the blood, so on and so forth. Basically what they're doing is getting rid of the adrenaline, which spoils the meat, right? You can see this a lot of times on the fishing boats when they'll pull the big tuna out, they'll poke the brain, like they'll destroy the brain, and then they'll send it down.
They'll actually gut it completely as well.
They'll gut it, and then they send down a rod down the spine to kill the spinal.
I've seen
Call
what they
'em.
do too is they have a bloodline that runs like right behind their gill.
They'll bleed it
They'll
too.
cut right like they'll literally just lift the gill plate and cut like the smallest little slit, and that shit starts spraying.
Yeah, it's the artery. They cut the artery. They run down. Like so people have done these things to get it to the. Now, I like to buy my meat without like knowing the actual cow. I think it feels a little bit easier to eat the meat. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, I don't know
it's
if
not like, fuck, man, they killed Timmy.
Yeah,
I
know
don't
what I
know.
mean?
I've seen many animals killed in front of me and then had them on my plate a couple hours later. So that doesn't bother me.
Yeah, but
As
as a little
child and
kid,
everything.
we had, they bought a little lamb, and it was my little pet for a couple of days until they fucking killed it. And I was crying. I was crying about it, as a little kid.
They've done that to Lynette and some
Traumatized.
cousins too.
Yeah, I rode it as a little
I was
horse,
always a fuck up little kid in that sense, where I was just like so to give you a story, my dad one day.
Sociopath right there, guys.
My dad one
You
day,
heard it here first
right?
on GhettoRig Pod.
He's my son, go inside, go inside. Why do I gotta go inside? No, just go inside for a little bit, right? And then I'm peeking through the window. What the fuck want me to go inside for? He starts grabbing chickens and whipping heads, right? He just literally pick up a chicken, grab that shit, hold it up like a fucking,
like a bouquet of flowers, yeah.
and swing, throw, wait 10 minutes or whatever,
You just see the
And-
fucking chicken just there.
Or sometimes he grab them and start, twisting head. Like, there's so many ways
Yeah.
to kill a chicken, I guess. And I'm
It's-
looking through the window, this and that. And I remember I go out there and I literally said to my dad, "You sure you don't need any help?" It's like a little kid, less than 10 years old. Less
Yeah.
than 10 years old. That's
Well,
just
that's
funny.
what I'm saying. Like, it's a difficult it's a good question to ask. It's a very difficult one.
It just
to
really
answer.
depends on how you were raised.
If you look up pictures, I'm sure you can find. I'm not online, but if I look through family albums that I have, you'll find a picture of me and Rodolfo as little kids, less
Holding
than 10
some
years old,
chickens.
holding up a sheep's head he got the horns and everything, holding it onto each horn, like taking a picture. That shit's still like fresh bleeding. We witnessed the whole decapitation, bleeding, everything. And the funniest part is, we were around a bunch of grown ass men, and the one that was doing was a 17-year-old Cuban, fresh off the boat.
Oh yeah, you don't
Butchered
give a
the
fuck.
whole shit.
You don't give a fuck, dude. That's what I was just
He
about
did
to
the
get
whole
to.
fucking
You
thing,
telling
bro.
me it's a job? I get paid?
No, he
No,
was just
he
part of
did-
the family. He was eating, you know. It was Josue's cousin.
Yeah.
Lynette used
Oh,
to date her.
I
They dated
remember.
back in the day.
I remember what I was going to talk about. So the guy that created Telegram was also the guy that created WhatsApp. He's a billionaire. He's basically like Mark Zuckerberg, but of Russia. Right?
Okay.
And he was working on an app that was going anti-government, and he basically fled to Russia, right? So he was just apprehended in France because apparently they said, okay, well, a lot of terrorist organizations using Telegram for encrypted messaging, right? And you need to let us read these messages. And he pretty much came around and said, well, I can't do it. Even if I wanted to, the way the encryption is set on this, the mathematical formula, I won't be able to do that. So they arrested him basically by saying you're harboring terrorists, right? That was the premise of it. Now, what do you guys think about that?
I think it's one of those really weird things, right? Because didn't Apple have a similar case?
Yeah, and Apple said, fuck you, we're not doing
You
anything,
know,
and nobody
Apple
got
had a
in
similar
trouble.
Case, but because even though it was something that was
It was Sandy Hook
rightfully
shooting.
illegal, right?
Sandy Hook shooting.
Rightfully illegal, and they wanted to get all the stuff, and they didn't do it. Now, personally, I think that at that point, your right to privacy of your cell phone that you've opted in to share all this shit anyways, is I mean that's one of the first things they check when they like arrest you. They
Yeah.
look through your whole phone.
Yeah.
Everything,
Yeah.
photos, text messages, they look at everything.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. When it comes to something like that, it's just double edged, right? Because on one hand, it's like, yo, these guys are rightfully doing something illegal. We need to figure out what the fuck's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I have the phone. Give me access or whatever it is. On the other hand, you have a business owner saying, hey, we pride ourselves in our privacy.
Correct.
And in what we do and encryption. And that's why people literally switch from WhatsApp to Telegram.
Yeah.
And shit like that. So, double-edged sword. Now, I think that a CEO should understand, yo, people are terrorists. And you're not going to do what you can to help. Do you think he could have found the message? I think he fucking could.
He could have found it.
I think he fucking could.
But if that would have leaked, like kind of like similar to what's happening right now, when I don't know if you hear that thing with Zuckerberg.
I think
and
that
the COVID situation.
I think that people who would get mad at a guy helping people that are trying to go against terrorists are too full of themselves and them in their privacy.
Well, no, I understand that. I understand what you're saying, and I could totally agree with you. And I'll tell you why I agree with you. Right? We had this conversation in a chat. I posted a message and nobody fucking replied back. People laughed at it because it was funny as shit. But what I'm saying is just like you mentioned, when WhatsApp got bought and this whole privacy was gonna go out the picture, everybody kind of switched to Telegram. Right? Now here's the bottom line. Right?
To me, that was bullshit. Like, Primo, what are you so special? And what are you talking about that's so special that you need to go to Telegram for?
That's the whole thing. And my literally message said I'm like, they don't give a shit about you.
And you act like you're.
As a matter of fact, because of your social media, because of your footprint, they probably know the type of underwear your favorite OnlyFans girls wears, and they advertise that shit to you and your current girlfriend
and you act
or
like
your
you
wife.
don't talk about the same shit you talk about on WhatsApp that you do on Instagram DMs,
Exactly.
on Messenger,
An
when
average
you send
person-
text messages.
Yeah, for an average person, they're not looking for you. Like, they won't even go as far as like to look for you, whether you're like avoiding taxes and doing this and doing that. Like, everyone thinks they're so important in this world. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, like everyone thinks they're so fucking important. The shit they do is so private, and they
Like-
need this so much to guard this. I don't fucking.
The people
get
that
it.
are looking through your phone, like going in and bugging your shit, are people looking for massive criminals doing real crimes.
Yeah,
Like,
the actual fucking crimes, right?
yeah.
So I don't know. But I do understand the CEO, and I do understand his angle.
That's why I said no. I understand both sides in that sense, where it's your company and you pride yourself in having this privacy and all this stuff. So on one hand, it's kind of like being a little dishonorable, if you want to put it that way, towards your branding.
Exactly.
But at the other side, it's like, dude, you want to help the terror? You want to help me?
Yeah, because see, like this also leads into like freedom of speech. Like, I'm Armenian. In 1915, there was a massacre of Armenians by Turks. Basically, majority of the world has recognized that as a genocide.
Yes,
whatever.
the Armenian
Majority,
genocide.
but there's still
we
there's
learned
still
about that growing up
naysayers.
here.
There's still naysayers of that. I truly believe in my core, in my inside, that because of freedom of speech, they should be able to say their opinion, even if they don't agree with something that has happened, right? So they should be able to go out there and say that, right? Like, I think it's your prerogative to do that. Like, as a free person, you should be able to do it and not force, like imprisonment. Kind of similar things that happened in UK. A couple of people got in trouble because they talked about
okay, so
immigrants and stuff like that. They got prison times and stuff like that on Facebook.
I think what could happen there is sometimes the context can be confused within things.
Well, the context can be
So
confused.
if I'm coming out and with no context at all, and I'm just saying I don't believe the Armenian genocide happened, right? And that's not what I believe. This is just a scenario, right?
Yeah, no, we can sit down and have a debate about
right.
it.
No, let's just say I put that out. I tweet it, right?
Yeah.
I put that out as a tweet. Am I directly hating on anyone?
No,
I'm just saying an event didn't happen,
correct. It didn't happen. Yeah, correct.
right? That's literally all I said, right? So I get what you're saying, and that does is exactly what you were gonna say. Is puts it up for debate in the sense where did this happen or
Correct.
not,
Mhm.
right? Now, what that a lot of times does though is when it opens that argument, now is when the dumb shit comes out.
Well, yeah, that's
Right?
always gonna happen. We're human, right?
Exactly. So open to have that argument, and you should always have that always open to have that conversation, right? That's the whole point of freedom of speech.
No, I agree with the idea
Right?
that you can't openly go out there and call for violence.
There we go. Within
No,
a
I
certain
get that.
context,
Mhm.
saying something like that within a certain context. So let's say I'm I'm a hater, right? Whatever, and people know that, right? And I've been advocating about this for a long time and saying Armenians are shit, whatever I've been saying, right? Within a certain context, then that could be taken as hate or calling for violence or whatever it may be, right? All depends.
So this has to do whether. Anyway, so yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying. It's kind of similar to the idea where, that whole bear or the man thing that's been going a little bit crazy the past month.
Oh,
Not so
we
much
talked
now
about this
right
a
now.
bunch, yeah.
Yeah. So and then they flipped the question, and they said, what if the man is an African American man?
Right.
So now everybody's like, what do I answer to in this
Okay.
case? You know what I mean? Like they just flipped the script by saying, well, now you encounter an African American man and a bear. Who are you choosing in the woods? And a lot of the women were like stopped and they couldn't say anything, right? Like they couldn't continue saying what they wanted to say. So anyway, so what I'm trying to say, I think the culture has gone very, very PC.
Let's not get political today. We said
Yeah,
we weren't.
that's
Let's
true.
go. Let's switch to something else.
Yeah.
What else we
Go
got
to the
today?
other ones. Go to the other ones. Yeah, so okay, cool. So this is a pretty badass plane that they've been working on and whatever, right? SR-72.
Son of Blackbird.
Son of Blackbird. So it's actually smaller, and from what it looks like, it's kind of unmanned, right?
Does look like it's unmanned.
So if you saw some shit like this flying in the sky, right? They're testing it. Would you think it's a fucking alien thing? Because it is small, bro. Like it's small.
No. No, I would think it was like a drone. If I got to see detail on it, I'm assuming this shit moves so fucking fast that all you're gonna see is like a blast through the sky, right? You're not gonna see any detail.
No, I don't know. I haven't
Right.
researched it enough. But what I'm trying
That's
to say,
definitely unmanned.
Someone
look how the
turbines
turbine
work, yeah.
motor is
so
it's
the
definitely
whole
unmanned.
so the whole thing of this one is like you've never seen this before. You see this in the sky. It's flying. It's very small. It doesn't look like a normal drone that we've seen, right? Like those white drones, long arms, skinny middle.
It does look like something we would design.
Yeah.
It does look like something we designed. So I don't know. I personally probably wouldn't think it was an alien thing. I would need to see some shit that looks like a saucer, bro.
Why does it have to be a saucer?
Because it does. What I mean by I would have to see something like a saucer, I would have to see something that doesn't make sense. If you know what I mean.
Somebody in the comments brought up a good point. The fact that we already know about it means it's already a failure.
Oh, the Son of Blackbird thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, before we even knew about this, right? Like you saw them test drive in this in the sky. Like you didn't even know this existed, right? And it's this small little thing that looks like it's unmanned and it's kind of flying around doing very fast turns here, left and right.
It's funny, I'm not getting that comment here.
Would you confuse this?
Right here. No, I don't see it on my phone.
No, it's on Instagram.
Oh, I'm
yeah, would you
tripping.
confuse this with like anyway, so I was kind of like, looking at this and then now does the warfare not take a whole different approach?
Now,
right?
what is this meant to do? What is this?
Exactly the Son of Blackbird. Whatever Blackbird does, this is gonna do that without
I
a
don't
man.
know what the Blackbird is. Let's look
It's
it up.
a bomber.
72, it's the bomber.
Yeah. It's a bomber, right? So
hypersonic UAV concept that Lockheed Martin proposed in 2013 as a successor of the SR-71 Blackbird. The SR-72 is intended for intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance.
okay,
So it's not a bomber.
bomber.
It's just meant to
Yeah, but what is it
exactly a UAV.
gonna? What is it gonna take to outfit it with payloads? You know what I mean? 'Cause, I mean,
No, Jay. At this point, they don't do things like that. They have specific aircraft that are for specific things.
Well, no,
you're not
I
gonna see
get
a
it.
bomber out there doing surveillance. It's a bomber.
Yeah,
You know
I
what
mean, we didn't think that drones can be manufactured into bomb dropping things, but Ukraine did it. You know what I
No,
mean?
but that's a little different. That's a little
Yeah.
different than like Lockheed Martin producing aircraft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, would they maybe take this technology and put it into something like a bomber? They probably already have, right? They probably already got 5 of them. But like that person said in the comments, we don't know about those.
Yeah. So anyway, so I thought it's kind of cool. Like, and what else out there that hasn't been proposed and they've been test driving, and a lot of people thinking that this is an alien, not specifically this, but something like that looks like a damn sorcerer. You know what I mean?
Like I would need to see something that just doesn't look like anything we would make, right? Like this looks like an aircraft. Whether even if it's an aircraft out of a fucking video game, it still looks like an aircraft. if you know what I mean, right? That has
And
the
then
shape of
another
a
thing
plane.
is, if they're intelligent enough to make the fucking trip and get down here, don't you think they
Like
have
I
a
would need to see
cloaking?
something like literally just the size, like the shape of this cup, like floating around. Like,
Yeah.
whoa, what the fuck
Fuck
is that?
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. Like that's what I mean. Like it doesn't in the physics sense doesn't make sense.
Well, at that point, if that shit's floating around, right? Like, would you think that that's like that wouldn't have like some sort of a device to
100% it does.
So would you even
That's what.
see
Yeah.
it? You know?
No. So no. And if I did see it, it's because I know they wanted me to see it, right? And that means I'm fucked.
Yeah. So they're actually the guy was talking about. They have this. They proposed to get something to fly very far and very fast, and the way they're gonna reach that, because the smaller the weight, the more speed you can give it. So they're basically proposing these sails. They're gonna be these gigantic sails around this little fucking nano macrogram type of a little, basically like a chip that's gonna have the sails around, and they're thinking to make a propulsion to up to like 99.99999 of the speed of light, percent of the speed of light. And there's this Russian billionaire apparently that's been dumping a bunch of money into this project to
He
get
wants
this
to time
flying.
travel.
They also talked about the time travel. So the time travel thing is a little bit out of reach right now. Like we don't even understand how would that. We don't even like we have theoretically how would that work, but we don't really know if that
How
even.
to execute it.
Yeah, like
100%.
so the time travel right now is a little bit out of the fucking realm of
I had a question for you.
reality.
What would you do if you knew, like, what would be things that you would want to get done in your life before, if they told you had 72 hours before you're
Things
done?
that I'm done in my life.
That things you would want to do that you haven't done yet. Like, I don't know, you want to go skydive, you want to do something. If like you have 72 hours to live, what are you doing? Most of us would probably spend it with our family in reality, but what are we doing?
No, the first day I spent with the hose.
He's like, I wonder if Jesus did that.
Yeah, so it's first day I spent with
Instead
the
of a
hose.
final dinner, he had the final days with his hoes.
Impregnate all of
The
them.
final gathering at the strip club.
Impregnate all of them. You know what I mean? Try at least. And then the second day, I would probably.
Jay,
Yeah, bro.
impregnate the
Yeah,
hoes?
yeah, bro. Bloodline have to continue, bro.
But it's gonna be shitty. They're gonna be raised by hoes.
That's fine. The thousand people before me, the reason I'm here is because a bunch of people died.
Trying to justify that.
No, the reason I'm here is because a bunch of people in the past have died.
But like,
Mammoths have fucking killed
like,
them.
all right, let's say you impregnating all these hoes. Like, what if all your kids coming out to be criminals, dog?
One of them will be fine.
One of them.
It's just gonna be like the low of the numbers.
Chances
What
of
is
probability.
Yeah, the
Chances of probability.
Yeah. Hopefully one of them be all
I have
right.
to play the
And then the
gamble.
next 2 days I spend it with the family, and on the last day I would have just a big ass fucking party, get everybody in, drink, have fun, eat delicious food, like fucking laugh, take pictures, memories and shit like that, and then just be like, peace, I'm out. You know what I mean?
I think I'd travel. I'd visit as many places as I could.
You couldn't. 72 hours, you couldn't.
Bro,
You couldn't.
70
going to Japan, that's 16 hours.
72 hours.
You ain't gonna
It's
get
like-
shit
That's
done.
just the travel time just to get to the
I'd
hotel.
try and go somewhere, like whether it be nearby, but I'd constantly move.
You'd just be like, damn.
I'd be like fucking Forrest Gump.
That's just
running.
That's just depressing
Run.
as fuck, dude. You're just dying. You're just looking. Everyone's like, it's beautiful, but I'm dying. Like,
Yeah, no, I wouldn't even say, like, I've been lucky enough in my life. Like, I've traveled a ton. I've done things that I wanted to do. And I've kind of gotten to the point where I kind of know what things I want to do and what things I don't want to do. Like, for instance, skydiving. You guys did skydiving. I have no fucking intentions of skydiving.
That shit was so fun.
Yeah. And I don't care about skydiving. You know, somebody might say skydiving because that was their bucket list item. You know, you know what I would do? First day, I would probably go to Colombia, Medellin again for one, like, a party night. Because that's only a 3-hour flight. I can get rid of 8 hours let's say 10 hours total travel time. Take it off. Now I have 62
You
left.
can do quite a bit of impregnation while you're done.
Right there, quite a bit of impregnation, you know.
know.
And then next day with the hose, and then the third day with the family.
Damn, so you're spending 2 days with the host?
Well, no, one day
Colombia would
with
be
the
there with the
randoms,
hoes.
with the randoms.
So 2 days for the host.
Hey, blame the
Last 72
testosterone, bro. I
hours,
don't know what
40
you want me to say. Blame the testosterone. I don't care. You know.
Tripping.
But
That interests me what Alex said just now though. You know, Amazon has implemented their drones now. They're using those. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they have been testing with them, but people
Like
are
doing
you know, as
actual
usual.
deliveries.
Yeah, as usual, Karens complain about the noise of the fucking drone that comes in and drops it off. Bro, shut the fuck up. There's just so much noise out there that you're really gonna complain about the drone noise. Like, just quit it. Quit it while you're ahead of the game,
And
Karen.
what's the big
mean,
deal? It's
unless-
gonna come in for 20 seconds and then take off.
Hey,
It's
that's
like
the whole.
having the loud motorcycle drive
I
by.
could
Going
find it
back to the same
annoying.
thing of the privacy, bro. Like, it's just like people are just fucking just
I feel
to
like
say
you
it.
could find it annoying if all the drones have a central landing HQ, and then you live right next to that HQ, and all the fucking drones every morning
because-
just get out of there.
Those warehouses are pretty fucking big. One, right? They're on pretty big, like a pretty big lot, right? So if they set it up to where it's not right next to a residential, usually it's not anyways, right? Those warehouses aren't in residential areas
Yeah.
usually. And even if they do, those drones can fly high enough where when they pass over the houses when they're leaving, they wouldn't have to bother anything.
Yeah, it's the 20 seconds of them. Bro, just I'm saying the Karens, bro. People just will
Karens.
find anything to complain about just to complain. They actually found that on average, people that are a little more conservative, they're happier than the people that are more progressive. Because the ones that are conservative get out like, yeah, I know system is fucked up, but I'm lucky to be alive. I'm lucky to be having this system. And the other progressive are like, well, this is fucked up. This is fucked up. This is fucked up. Only if I could turn around the corner and eliminate all this shit, then I would be happier. So I don't know, man.
Nah, I think that's on both sides.
No,
I definitely think that's on both sides.
that's the research. It's not my opinion.
No,
So-
I think that's definitely on both sides, right? Where in the sense where you're gonna have extremists on both sides that want to be the people that fix the
No,
whole
no,
stuff.
we're not talking about the extremists, right? We're talking about the ones in the middle that just split off just a little bit.
Well,
Extremists are fucking already retarded.
that's when
to
I
begin
don't-
with.
that's when I
sorry,
don't-
The R word. I shouldn't have
That's when
said
I
that.
don't believe
My bad,
that.
you
You
too.
know, most people in the middle, even if they fall a little bit right or even a little bit left, if they're towards the middle, most of the time they don't fucking pay too much mind to it. Regardless,
They don't. They really don't.
So
You know,
that doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't know. So this was the data they did, and they figured out that this is what it is. But
I
then
get what
again,
you're
who
saying. I get it, I
answers?
get it.
But then again, who answers these?
Well, you
right?
know, just thinking about it logically at that point.
Yeah. Well, who answers these?
Yeah,
questions?
how is this done?
Like, who are these? No. Like, just think about who are the people that like.
Who's gonna
But-
actually go out and answer the fucking poll?
I know we're not talking about presidential, but who actually like? I mean, I've been asked to do a presidential poll, but have I ever done one? No.
No.
Like people that actually go do these, like they have this ulterior motive. So
They're the ones that think they're in the middle, but they're fucking extreme.
yeah,
probably.
so like it doesn't even matter at the end of the day. So yeah, go do some smart shit here, because we're just talking nonsense at this
Somehow
point.
we always get to fucking politics. This shit
Yeah.
sucks.
Right here
It
has
does.
sent me down the deepest rabbit hole. And that's because this is a source of free energy that has a very mysterious history and could be linked to UFOs.
But for several years now, a small group of scientists here has been investigating a strange new space-age metal, a nickel-titanium alloy called nitinol.
In cold water, nitinol turns soft. Bend it and it stays bent, but in hot water it springs back with forces as high as 55 tons a square inch. No one knows quite why this happens. Several years ago, McDonnell Douglas began experimenting with nitinol in the form of springs. At room temperature, the nitinol wire springs bend easily, but in warm water they spring back, thus forcing the wheel around. Even stranger, nitinol wires get stronger the more they're used. They develop a double memory. They not only contract in the warm water, but they begin to stretch of their own accord in the cool water. Nitinol can be trained.
And then there's this document that was written from the Battelle Memorial Institute to the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio in 1949. And of course, the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base is known for allegedly storing the crashed UFO that happened in Roswell in 1947, which was just 2 years before this contract was written. And in this document, they're talking about the different alloys that they're testing, and they're giving a progress report on those tests. And at this time, nitinol went by a different name. And a lot of the serious UFO researchers believe that the Battelle Memorial Institute was the organization that was given the contract to examine and test all the metals that were retrieved from the Roswell crash. And one more interesting thing about Battelle is that they are the same organization that invented coating and metals that were used on spy planes that were then... This device right here has sent me
Alright,
down the...
So I want you to speculate on this. You guys all heard this, right? So obviously they know that this material exists. I want you to speculate on this. So if we do know this exists and we can use this as a source of energy, why aren't we using it? Because I don't know. Again, I haven't dove deep inside because this is a reel, right? They have to pack as much information as possible into one little tiny reel without giving you the background of things, right? So there's a bunch of shit that they're leaving out, right? That
I think that when it comes to things like this, it's not as simple as you think.
that's it.
That's a
So
simple-
what? That's
you
what
know,
I'm saying. Speculate. What do you think could be one of the things that
I think it's one in perspective on how stories are told, right? Like the way that this guy did his research told him a specific story, right?
Well, no, forget the research. It's just the metal material itself. If it goes soft and hard, that creates the motion, right?
Many different things we found now that have just by literally like there's metals now that we know of that you can literally just put in your hand and they go liquid.
Yeah,
From the temperature of your hand,
Yeah.
right? So we've discovered many things that have very weird properties.
What about you,
Right.
Miggy? What do you think?
I think that we may be coming onto an age where so we had the Stone Age, we had the Bronze Age, we had the
Then the industrial age.
industrialization. I think we're eventually going to now develop into a new age where we discover some new metals or maybe perhaps be able to shape those metals.
I think it's gonna be the new age is gonna be the AI age now, and AI is gonna be the one that's gonna propose. But I think in my opinion, I think it's just not cost effective.
Of course not.
Point
And
blank, it's just not cost effective. That's why
it's
because
just not as available as
That's
others.
part of what I was saying. I think in the sense where it's not that simple,
yeah.
right? Maybe it works amazing, but then it costs $2 trillion to get this much. Like what? Whoa, okay, and how the fuck we're gonna do it?
Yeah, because
You know
have
what I
you
mean?
seen those little devices that they make where you have two balls, you drop the ball, and it's kind of like a centrifugal thing, and it just spins, goes down the ramp, jumps up, and then goes back in
Okay.
again, jumps up, goes back in,
Right.
and it's just a perpetual. It never stops. It just keeps
Yeah.
going and going and going and going. So, how do you make money? They would not use it if you cannot monetize it. Element 115. I don't know. Look that up. What is element 115? Moscovium.
is a synthetic chemical element. It has symbol MC and atomic number 115.
Is invented by a Russian. What does it do?
Highly radioactive metal of which only a few atoms have ever been made.
Only used in research.
Bless
Ooh, slow
Okay,
sneeze
but
there, thank you.
what's the idea of this? Okay, it's radioactive, so it basically packs a punch.
Let's see. What is the purpose?
Go to Reddit.
Go through Reddit. That's when you get crazy answers, though.
Yeah,
And then motherfuckers be writing the longest shit, make them sound like they're just absolutely right.
It only lies in the field of research, and there is no commercial use. The reasons are only a few atoms are available for detailed study, and the element decays very quickly into niobium. The element niobium also has no commercial use either. Both elements find use in research laboratories.
okay, so they're just researching this. So what was the purpose of creating the damn thing?
Well, he said it's extremely radioactive, meaning it can be used for energy.
Probably.
It can provide insight into the forces that hold atoms together, which can help us learn more about the universe.
Okay. All right.
It's just a very highly radioactive and unstable.
Okay. Well, knowing people, they're probably gonna make a bomb out of it. I'm just saying.
Oppenheimer's turning in his grave right now. Like, you guys doing it again?
And they discovered like if the two countries have like imminent threat to each other and they have the weapons to destroy each other and both know that that's the situation, they won't get into big conflicts, but they'll get in tiny little conflicts, a lot of them, right? Like a lot of tiny little fucking conflicts.
It's like when you're rich and you marry that girl that you're still not really sure about, and you're like, I can't argue with her too much because then I might lose half my shit.
Yeah, that's why you don't marry.
And then she won't, and then she's not gonna argue too much because she also might lose half her shit.
Well, no, because how is she gonna lose half of the shit? Oh, if you don't know if she's rich? Yeah. But if you know both are rich, then they both don't really want, and then they're just gonna bicker about little shit. But if you both have nothing, then it's just atomic war. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, nothing to lose.
Yeah, nothing to lose. Yeah.
That's the whole part. That's
Yeah.
the whole thing, man. Nothing to lose.
Yeah. All right, go to the next one. Go to the next one. What do we got? All right, so yeah, this one is pretty interesting actually.
Our sun to travel around the Milky Way is so long that the sun itself has had very few birthdays. For context, our home planet Earth has its birthday every 365 days. That is how long it takes for the Earth to complete one full orbit around the sun. But how long does it take for our sun to orbit around the black hole at the center of our galaxy? Our solar system travels through the galaxy at a speed of 720,000 kilometers per hour. Although this speed seems extremely fast, it still takes the sun 230 million years to complete a full orbit around the galaxy. One full rotation around the galaxy is called a galactic year, and our sun is 4.6 billion years old. meaning it has made this journey 20 times. Therefore, our sun is 20 galactic years old. The amount of time it
crazy is
takes
that
our
shit?
sun to
It's just insane when you start thinking about the universe, the vast amount of space
But
out
just
there.
like
You know
think
what I mean?
about
Like
that.
you think that you go out there, we go on the boats and stuff. We go out a few miles, and you're like, man, it's just the ocean is so fucking big, man. It's so
Yeah.
fucking big, and it ain't shit.
Yeah.
It ain't shit on the scale of the universe. It
But
ain't
the-
shit. It's not even a fucking atom compared to what we think of.
Did you notice one thing when it said in a black hole in the center of the universe, right? So even if you invent travel from one black hole to another black hole, then you gotta fucking make that trip to the exact galaxy that you want to go to, like the not galaxy, but the exact planet you want to go to from that black hole. So you have to still make that trip. And our dumbasses cannot figure out how to get to Mars, and it's like an 18-month trip. And when we do get to Mars, if something happens there, you can't just like export them out of there. These people are gonna die there. You know what I mean? Like if something goes wrong.
These people, you mean like their great grandkids that they had to have gotten there in the first place, even to get to
No,
the
no, no.
black
What I'm
hole in
saying,
the
if
first
today
place, like-
Musk sent a rocket with people to Mars, it's gonna take 18 months to get to Mars, right?
Okay.
Once they're there, the rocket even returns. The next trip can be only 18 months away. So if that first day something went wrong, it would be 18 months until the new rocket comes in
Okay.
to rescue these people. So these people are dying on a Mars. Like there's no way you're getting rescued off Mars.
I don't know. I'm sure they send them with a decent amount of shit to.
But if something just malfunctions, like you don't like the oxygen machine fucking just stops working. You know what I mean? Like what do you do?
Well, then you're fucked anyway.
Fuck.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Human error is a bitch.
Yeah, bro. That's what I'm trying to say. You know, like the whole Apollo mission when they use a couple of duct tapes and shit to figure out how to build a little machine. Like right now, there are two people stuck in space. Right now, there are two people stuck in space. Boeing sent two people to space. They're supposed to be there till the January of this month. They're stuck there. There's no way for them to come back. There's no way for them to come back. So Boeing dumbasses, what the Boeing is saying is like, well, we want to send the capsule back without the people just in case we landed wrong and everybody blows up. And like, we just want to, and then NASA came back to them and said, well, you guys kind of suck at this. We like, we like Musk better because he's got more success of sending rockets there. So we're just going to give this contract to him to rescue these people from space. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm trying to say. And these motherfuckers are just in space. We're talking about Mars. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
And then
On the
forget
bright
Mars.
side, they're probably gonna get
How-
a Netflix movie when they come back.
Probably. 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 And then to complicate them, the complicated matters even more. Okay, we'll learn how to travel through black holes. Great. Now we're in another galaxy. How in the fuck are we gonna make it to the closest planet?
That's another problem we're gonna figure out.
Yeah, while we're there. You know what I'm saying?
And and a black hole doesn't necessarily take you to another. You're thinking of a wormhole. Two different things. I
Well,
think.
they're talking about traveling through black holes, wormholes, through all these holes. Like they,
No, so the theory is that the wormhole is what folds space and time. I think a black hole is actually a vacuum of space and
yeah,
time.
the vacuum of
Right? So
space and
there's
time.
nothing in there.
Jay
Well,
only knows
yeah.
about one black hole. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. So all I'm trying to say, like, all this shit that we're talking about, like, it almost makes no sense to even talk about this. You know what I mean?
I think it's fun. I think it's fun to talk about just because it kind of like I think it's good for it's stimulating to the brain.
Yeah.
Right? Because it just begs that question. You start like thinking like
It humbles you. You don't
It
know as
definitely
much as
humbles
you
you.
fucking know.
Well, yeah, no. You obviously don't know as much as you know. The reason we're asking these questions because we understand we don't know shit. That's why we're asking these questions, right? That's the bottom line. And then you get the smartest minds in the world, and they can't figure it out. And yet we three of us sitting here on a GhettoRig podcast trying to solve the problem of the universe, right? So I don't know, man. Does space travel even make sense at this point? You know what I mean? Like, does that even make sense? So I don't know. But
For entertainment.
oh, by the way,
purposes, yeah.
have you seen the new engines? The Musk came out their third engine. Pull up, bro. This is like, I think it's work of art, bro. Like it's crazy how they look. Elon Musk rocket engine evolution. Yeah, just do that and then hit images. And yeah, there you go. Open that picture. Bro, how crazy that looks. Look at the first one, Raptor 1, Raptor 2, and Raptor 3, bro.
That shit look like got a big ass turbo on it.
Yeah,
That
but
shit's funny.
but like look at all those wires and gauges and shit on the first one. And then the third one got only like maybe what two lines going into it. That's it,
Yeah.
done.
They
Like
did
how
a-
crazy
They
is
did a
that?
wire tuck on that bitch.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
bullshit. There's a shit ton of wires under that.
But like you're talking about like inside the
Yeah,
It's inside.
They
this
wire
right
tucked
here.
that shit, bro.
because that, well, that's got to be the either air intake or the exhaust pipe, right? Like that has to be the air intake or the
That
exhaust
is-
pipe
Bro, I'm just gonna be honest.
because
with
it's
you.
coming from a turbo directly.
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. You think you know what you're looking at? You have no
Well, clearly,
no fucking idea what that pipe might be.
clearly. Otherwise, I would have a rocket company, right? Like clearly, I have no idea what the
We
fuck I'm
have
looking
no idea, right? You might to me it looks like an exhaust pipe, just like you're saying, but
Yeah.
we have no idea.
at. Yeah, so
Looks like a turbo, ain't no fucking turbo. It's something else.
yeah, and everybody that talking shit about Musk, I mean, he was able to put this company together and get the right people to design this shit. You know what I mean?
This is alien to me.
Yeah, here. Click on that. That looks like that could be no one above. Is that Raptor 1 or Raptor 2? I don't know which one this is. It could be too many lines. It's probably like Raptor 1 or whatever. So I don't know, man.
It's really green. It could be either 1 or 2.
Yeah, 1 or 2.
It says there that is the Channel 4 recirculation line. That's fucking insanely confusing to look at.
Yeah, right?
That shit just hurts my head even just watching this
Just
shit.
looking at this, right?
I'm good. I don't want to go to school for any of this shit.
You don't want to understand this.
No, I'm good. It's
Yeah,
only
so-
if like AI, if only if you can like Neuralink this shit into my brain is the only way I would be interested. That means, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Would you want to get Neuralinked?
Hell yeah. I think it's fucking awesome. I mean, to me, it just sounds awesome, right?
What would you first thing you would upload? What would it be?
First thing I'd upload. Now, how? Okay, wait. What do you mean first thing I'd upload, right? Like how,
first thing you would upload.
like, wait. How good is this Neuralink? Like, what's the capabilities of this thing?
Whatever you think it is. Like whatever you
Anything?
think. Yeah.
So basically, if in my head, at the fullest extent of this thing would be being able to take over the brain and have control of your brain in different
Yeah.
ways, right? So if I wanted to make myself believe that I was like actually in a video game, right, like running around, whatever. This is just an example, right? Like actually make myself feel like that and think I'm running and feel the weight. You know what I mean? Like basically have me ass sit in a chair and I'm like dreaming almost, right? Like do that to me. I would love to like go to certain places, travel, and then be like in space, like floating in space kind of thing. That'd be pretty cool.
I have a
Also
much easier
controlling,
answer.
huh?
I have a much easier
What is
answer.
it?
It's such a
Controlling
complex
things?
question.
What is it?
Ah, you're done?
Go ahead.
I'm just gonna use that shit for Call of Duty aimbot, baby. That's the first thing I'm gonna do.
I watched the guy. Apparently, you want to see if you can find it, Miguel? Because I'm interested in seeing it. I
I've
haven't
seen
seen
it.
this. So
Bro's
apparently,
aimbot.
the second dude that got Neuralink installed is now playing CS:GO. I think it is. I think he was playing CS:GO or something like that. That
I
shit's
think it's
crazy.
Call of Duty.
Call
but
of
it's
Duty?
fucking aimbot.
He was playing. Let's see. Is there a clip about him actually playing the game? I don't
There's right
think
there,
so.
it's showing on the bottom.
No, that's fucking
just-
Minecraft, dude.
Right
Let's
there.
see.
This is
Yeah.
just this guy's reaction.
No, that was it in the firing range. Go into it in the middle of the video. Keep going, a little further, just towards the middle. Right here. I think this is the
No,
clip.
this is him reacting.
Yeah. Oh, thoughts. Yeah, he's just playing.
Yeah, bro's just.
Is there a clip? I think he's playing. Was it CS? Little Human Aimbot. I don't know what that is. No, this
Not
is him
really.
talking about it.
I mean, I don't think we have him like actually playing. Just
I
him
thought we
explaining.
do. No. There's another guy that got it installed. I think already. Guy with Neuralink plays.
Call of Duty.
I think this is
I
just
don't-
bullshit.
yeah,
I think somebody's
I think that's
playing
just
it.
normal play.
I don't think he's playing Call of Duty. I don't think he is. I think he used it to show that he can aimbot, but I don't think it was Call of Duty levels. But what I would do, I would first upload.
I mean,
Old-
bro's already playing Call of Duty. Like, fuck.
I would upload every language in the world, with including the dialects, including like tribal dialects and all that. Number one.
You want to
I'd-
learn the.
Yep. Yep. I'll upload all that shit. After uploading all that shit, I would want to upload every single piece of knowledge or information Earth has. All the basically libraries, all the books, everything. I would just upload all that. And once I have all that, I want that Neuralink to start connecting dots with each other. See what I mean?
Huh?
So first I would learn all the upload all the
languages.
languages and dialects, everything, and then upload all the knowledge that each one of the basically tribes, countries, whatever
What do you
they
think?
have, including their libraries, the vast libraries that they have, upload all that knowledge in.
See, I
and
don't
they
know if
start
I would.
connecting
What do you
dots.
think?
I
What do you
personally
think?
don't know if I would want to know everything.
What do you think
I
connecting
would.
the
I would
dots?
wanna know
What do you
everything.
think connecting the dots is gonna do for you?
Connecting the dots, I think that's gonna help me help humanity.
You have a bunch of different cultures, ways of thinking, different ways of communication.
Yeah, no, because you
It's
can be
just a
able to.
bunch of people holding a piece of an elephant blindly.
Well,
And saying that they have a piece.
But each person, even though
It's
we're
just a-
connected, but each person is very far apart at the same time, right? Like, but you being able to connect the dots, you'll be able, for example, treatment for cancer, treatment for Alzheimer's, treatment for this, treatment for that, like things like that, and make it all free.
I just think that personally, it would fuck you as a person.
It would. It probably would fuck you because I don't think our brain is designed to keep that type of information in us, right? But if it was able to recall, right, it's stored on like this terabytes and terabytes of data, and you're able to recall quickly and connect
But I
exactly
think
what's
no, I'm
what.
saying like it would fuck your personality up.
It would. You would. Yeah, you would be just like a robot.
Yeah,
You
like
know,
Spock.
you.
He'd be fucking
Yeah.
Spock in Star Trek.
I think you'd be the most hated person in the world because no one would be able to talk to you because then somebody would say
no
something.
one's gonna tolerate your ass.
Yeah, somebody say something, you'd be like, actually,
No, it's not
actually,
even that.
you know.
It's just I feel like you would just have it in you to constantly spit out every single fact you know about any situation we're talking about, and that's just not fun.
It's
to
not
hear.
fun. Yeah, it's not fun. Yeah, but it would be good to know all that and be able to disassociate from that. Like I would do that, just be able to help people. Like I would literally do that. Like you know what? I'll sacrifice. Give me all this fucking knowledge. Let me figure out how to cure melanoma. You know what I
I'm
mean?
not that good of a person.
Yeah,
Good for you, Jay. I'll give you that.
I would do that.
Hats off to you, but
Yeah.
no,
I don't know.
Look at that fucking camera ads and shit. I know it. We already bought it. Don't worry.
We're good now.
Yeah.
Good now. We're good now. Why are you looking at Avengers, Miggy?
I was trying to make a fucking reference.
Oh, of what? You can
Of
just
you-
say it.
Of you connecting the dots.
Oh,
Receiving
yeah.
all the gems.
Yeah.
Well, there was this movie they made, and these people had I don't know if it was a movie or a show. They had these chips, right, that they could upload immediately whatever piece of information they needed. They could upload it immediately. And what happened? Somebody created a virus that would overload their brains with information. Their brains would fry, and they would die. And the whole idea of the movie was to figure out who's doing this.
This is
right?
Jay after receiving all the uploads.
And then snap the
After
fingers.
all the nodes connect.
Yeah.
The funny part is Jay would be the one like instantly just like Thanos, like after collecting all the information, just like he said, the
It makes
curling
no
shit,
sense. Nothing
Instant-
makes sense.
Instantly, like half of you have to go. Instantly.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do. I wouldn't do half of you have to go. He was already pissed at the world, right? That's why half of them
But what
have to
if, but
go.
question, what if after overloading all that information, you end up being pissed at the world, right? Do you think that you would be the type to like still try and find a way to fix it, even if it was doing wrong things like Thanos was trying to do? Or would you be the kind to be like, fuck it, it's done, what's done is done?
No, but I would understand that human life is important, right? Like I wouldn't necessarily go against human life. It would be more like towards cures of things rather
But what
than
if the
just
cure,
preventing.
what if the cure was taking away half of human life? And that's the way to save us in general.
That's a good fucking question.
Would you
I
be
don't
the
know, that would
type?
be-
Would you be Thanos, or would you be the type to say, "Fuck it, we're all done"? I'm not killing half.
Yeah, I'd probably at that point, if that was the scenario, then I'd say it is what it is. At least now I know. know what I
There,
mean?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Would you just either you?
It would be sad reality.
Alex has
though.
provided us with a link to footage of the guy playing.
I told you it's CS. All right, let's see this shit. Okay.
Is he bot playing?
Bro's using the P90 and aiming all the way at the floor. He already knows how to play CS. That's for sure. Just spray and pray with that thing and control the recoil, which you don't really got to do when all you got to do is look at the screen.
I don't know.
It's pretty solid, though. I mean,
Is he good at it? What would you say, guys? Is he
no, I
playing
mean,
bots or is he playing
He
humans?
would get popped, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's just very static.
For
play.
CS, it's a little bit harder because there's actual recoil. On
Yeah.
something like Call of Duty, it's a lot easier. There's a lot less
Yeah.
recoil.
So think of it this way: CS is a type of game
I've played it before.
where the recoil isn't shown on the actual screen or through the crosshairs, or the gun bounces around, but you can't like zoom in, right? You're forced to only just kind of hip fire stuff, and so is Valorant is also like that, where you kind of have to learn recoil patterns and have to like adjust and have to learn them, straight up learn them without actually being able to see it, right? Because when a game like Call of Duty, your sight jumps around, so you kind of know, oh, I need to make this micro adjustment, and like as it's going, right, I need to move this way. In those games, you don't know, like you're just shooting, and the gun's like looks like it's shooting right in front of you, but it's doing this shit, right? But it looks like it's shooting right in front
So
of
it's
you.
just hours and hours of shooting the same gun, trying to be able to
100%.
adjust. Yeah.
I have that pattern memorized in my head. I know that I have to go just like this in order to control that.
Yeah, certain gun. Yeah, different guns have different patterns that literally the game has like coded into it that this gun, if you spray, it's gonna do this pattern. You know, people like me that I don't play those games very often, and when I do, I'm very shit. But what I have to do is you have to be, and you can't spray, you can't hold it down. You have to like you have to just tap it, and sometimes because what happens is in those games, the first couple bullets that first come out are straight.
Typically,
after
the
that
first
is-
bullet is always straight.
Yeah.
In theory. If you're not moving.
And in some cases, like for the first 2 or 3 can sometimes.
So it makes
also be
sense just
straight.
to snipe people in that game then. Just become
Oh
really
yeah,
good
the
at sniping.
the snipers are the best in those games.
Yeah.
In CS,
If you're a long range.
if you're good at it.
Yeah, you can get popped easy. Just get flash or some shit. Just get hit with the bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And-
Go to the next one. Go to the next one.
Do you want to wrap it up? We're already 10:40, so
10:40, yeah.
yeah. Let's we can hold off the rest of the stuff for next time, guys. Thank you everyone for joining us. We had a pretty active chat today, which I appreciate. Ozzy, Alex coming in the chat, Arthur. Thank you guys for joining us. I saw Mauricio was in here at the beginning. Thank
Hey
you,
guys,
brother.
by the way, we'll be uploading the episode 165.
Yeah, the one that was missed out. We just haven't had a chance to actually upload it yet. That takes a little while on the computer, and it's a pretty long thing.
Should be done uploading. I just actually got to schedule it.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So
Alrighty, guys.
we'll get that. And guys, hey, please go and watch it, or at least do us a favor and run it in the background while you're working, just on a replay, just to boost, and give us a like. That helps the algorithm,
You're out here making us sound desperate, Jay.
No, it always does, It's not desperate. Like every like
No,
helps,
I'm just kidding, bro. I'm just kidding. All right, guys, thank you for joining us. Shout out UFC Gym Largo in Pinellas Park, Vitality Wellness Center. Shout out Ozzy. Thank you, brother, for all the support. And everyone in the chat, everything. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys on Thursday. We got a cool guest coming on Thursday and a new
Yes.
camera. Let's fucking go, baby.
Yeah, stay tuned for that one. That's gonna be fun.
Peace.